Hey YouTube, Ham here. Back finally at home. Getting things back together. I apologize for not updating. I've been able to comment a few times from the road, but except for those little stupid cell phone pictures, I really haven't had a chance to do much to contribute, and I apologize to all of you. I'm very happy that the winners of my ladies contest enjoyed their prizes, and I thank you for the sweet and wonderful comments they gave me for that. You are all very special, and I appreciate you very much. My voice is a little worn out because it's been quite a busy 10 days. It started before September 11th, and that's something I want to talk about. I viewed the videos and the comments that people made about the 10th anniversary, and that's what this video is going to be about. We have a lot of other videos coming up here. Fred's back. He's going to make his grand appearance this weekend, so you can see Fred 2.0, and hopefully you'll get as much fun out of that as you did with his original form. We're having fun with it, but I need to be serious because this has been going on for 10 years and I don't talk about it much, but I am going to talk about it with you. Been doing a lot of stuff this past 10 days. You know, they give you all these IDs. You know, you do sporting events, they give you an ID, TV crew. The Redskins. I did the Redskins game last Sunday. There's my ID. Lets me in all over the field, right up to the sidelines during the game if I want. Same thing the cameramen get. And of course your parking pass. You know, over the decades that I've been doing this, I've collected libraries full of these things. We all have in this business, and sometimes our kids keep them, sometimes our spouses keep them, friends keep them. Usually we just throw them away. I mean, here's a couple I got that you might find kind of interesting. This is the White House press pool. I was the official press pool transmission for President Obama when he was here in Richmond, Virginia. I think it was the 9th, September 9th. Anyway, this is the pass that's issued by the Secret Service. The N is for national press, and then I also had the L for local press. I got both of those, and of course you get this. This is the official White House pass for the trip of President Barack Obama to Richmond, Virginia. There's your tax dollars at work, guys. That's a really heavy-duty plastic thing. I'll probably use this as an ice scraper during the winter. But you get all these mementos of events that we cover in this business. But there's one event that I was at that I have no mementos of like this, except for what's in my heart and the memories that I share with some very special people and the losses that we suffered. See, I was there. No kidding. You can look it up. I was basically almost the only mobile satellite truck that NBC News had in Washington during 9/11. I live in Richmond, which is just about 100 miles south, and September 11th, 2009, or 2001, September 11th, 2001, was my second wedding anniversary to my second wife, now second ex-wife. And that morning I didn't have the radio on. I was in my car. I was driving to the southern part of Richmond to go pick up an anniversary present for her. And my cell phone and my pager, remember pagers? Yeah, started going off like crazy. It was NBC News in Washington. And my good friend Dave Foreman, who was on the assignment desk, was more racked than I'd ever heard David before, and I'd heard him in a lot of situations. And he basically said, "Has anybody called you yet?" And I said no, and he filled me in very briefly. I had the same initial reaction like you all did. And he said, "Get in the truck and start driving. We're probably sending you to New York." I didn't have clothes, I didn't have a briefcase, I didn't have a computer, I didn't have anything. I ran for the truck, parked, jumped in, and took off. coming up I-95. Dave calls again. And as he's talking to me again about how long is it going to take me to get to New York, the plane hit the Pentagon. And I heard people screaming in the back of a newsroom, which is something you never hear. And Dave said, forget that, come to Washington. Well, I made it through the traffic. Everybody else was locked down at the Citgo station there by the west side of the building. I could see it from where I was, but I couldn't get in through security. They had everything blocked off, so I became the rover. I went to Alexandria Hospital that night, where they were bringing the dead and the injured, and we did some feeds there. And then I didn't go home for almost 40 days. I lived out of a hotel, and basically day in and day out, we shared the news with all of you. My basic assignment became to work primarily with a very wonderful reporter who is now retired. His name is Robert Hager. You'll probably recognize that name if you watch NBC News. He still comes back occasionally. Robert would start the day at Reagan National Airport in Washington. I'd do feeds throughout the day, sometimes with Pete Williams, their legal reporter at the Justice Department, until they wouldn't let us park there anymore. And then I usually ended up at night with Robert Hager or somebody else, maybe General Wesley Clark, whoever was there, at Dulles National Airport. And that was my day. Sometimes we went late night. There were town hall meetings and other things, but we pretty much played it by ear for about a month. And it was surreal. I mean, in television news, you have to remember, the only people that the public really sees on the street are the guys in the trucks. The crew and the reporter and everybody else is at the other end of the wire inside the building. So for the first couple of days, people were coming up to us and asking, have there been any more plane crashes? Is it safe? Are they going to restore flights? Questions that we didn't have the answers to. What we basically did, because there were guys there for CNN and ABC and CBS and other news services, we all got to know each other really well. We were kind of like a little convoy that went everywhere. We took the TVs out of our hotel rooms and brought them with us, and we all had like direct TV receivers on our trucks. That's how we watched the network return of what we were putting on the air. And we basically set those TVs up on cases on the outside of our trucks and plugged them into those receivers so people could watch what was going on. And for about the first week, people would do that. We'd have these TVs out there, and we'd look out the door, and people would actually be standing and watching what was going on just wherever we were on the street, like the old movies where people would stand in front of the electronics stores and watch the TVs through the windows or listen to the radio. But I met a lot of first responders there, and they got to know us pretty well because, like I said, we were everybody else was locked down, and for a long time we were the only things moving. But I saw a lot of people, and I saw the looks on their faces, and I heard the disbelief and the fear in their voices, and they would look to us for answers, and we didn't have any. And here we are 10 years later, and I get mementos like these, but I got a very special package from a friend of mine who's a New York firefighter. I actually met him in 1999 when John F. Kennedy Jr. got killed, along with his wife and his sister-in-law, when his plane hit the ocean. If you saw the TV reports during that, of the pictures of the front of their loft in Tribeca, which is right near the World Trade Center, all those flowers and balloons and teddy bears and things that people gave, that was my truck. I was parked in front of station for truck 8, which was the Ghostbusters firehouse. It's the one that's in the movie. They've actually got the sign on the inside of the firehouse. It's a very old firehouse, but it was kind of cool. I have a lot of pictures of us in front of the Ghostbusters firehouse. But one of the guys I met there had kept in touch, and he sent me probably the most important memento that I'll ever have, and it's one that will travel with me for a very long time. You know, I collect these challenge coins. He said, Jay, he says, I remember you went through this, you know, along with a lot of other people in your business, and I wanted you to have this. Somebody here was passing these out, and he got one for me. I've seen these on eBay, and this is a little more special because I got it from my friend. But this is a picture. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if the camera will focus on it, but this is an aerial view of Ground Zero with the two searchlights that have been the kind of memorial every night to symbolize where the towers were. And in the gold around the edge it says 2001, 2010, and then New York, Pennsylvania, and DC. And it says honoring the memory. And on the back you'll see it says United States Armed Forces pursuing the justice. And these are the 5 emblems of all 5 military branches: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, with the great eagle of the United States in the middle. This, I think, is probably the finest coin that I have in my collection. And it is the only coin that travels in my pocket every day. I got it just before 9/11, and at that Redskins game, I had to be at the stadium at 10 o'clock in the morning. At 9 o'clock, I pulled off onto the curve, under the shoulder, on I-95, and I held this coin and I said a few prayers. And this is just paper, okay? You know, be impressed with this if you want. Whoopee, I've got about 50 of these White House things. Compared to these, this stands way above. It is something I will always treasure. I will never forget what happened. I was there. We all were there. And I'm very glad to see that a lot of you expressed your feelings and your emotions. And I'm sorry if this is so long and kind of rambling, but I'm just tired enough to be rambling and emotional. But I love my country, and I love all of you guys, and I will be back with you very soon on a much more humorous note. But I think it's time to say one more prayer before I go to sleep. Be safe. See ya.